Your kids' crayons and toys could be contaminated with asbestos. A shocking new report from the Environmental Working Group finds 4 brands of crayons and 2 crime lab toy kits contain traces of the cancer-causing carcinogen. The crayons sold at Party City and Dollar Tree, while the toy kits were sold on ToysRUs.com and Amazon.com. So how can you keep your child safe, and how do you know which brands to look out for? Joining me now is Dr. Jennifer Trachtenberg. She's an assistant clinical professor of pediatrics at the Mount Sinai School of Medicine and the co-founder of the Baby Bundle app. Nice to see you this morning.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, so first of all, why would this be a problem, having pieces of asbestos inside of crayons?
Right. So first of all, there is no safe level for asbestos for anyone, for children, because it is toxic. It does cause cancer and can cause lung cancer. And it's microscopic, the fibers. So if you inhale them, you don't even know that they're in these products.
You know, if you go to the Crayola factory, they take great pride in saying that we don't have any toxic chemicals in our crayons. We don't know about those other crayons imported from China. Here are some of the contaminated crayons that this study found. Amscan crayons. So if you see these in your house, no, don't use them. Disney Mickey Mouse Clubhouse crayons. Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crayons. Saban's Power Rangers Super Mega Force crayons. There you go. So those are some of the affected brands. But why are these kids so affected by this? More so than adults, I guess?
Right. So children are much more vulnerable than adults, and for many reasons. They're sensitive. One, you have to remember that young children, their brains are developing and growing, and so their organs are still developing, so they're much more sensitive. Because of their age as well, too, young children have more time to be exposed over time, and so then they're getting more exposure.
Some of the toxic toys at issue here are the EduScience Deluxe Forensic Lab Kit that has some black fingerprint powder in it. Is that right, Doc?
Right. So basically it's the powder, because what happens is the asbestos, it can get inhaled, and when it gets into your lungs, so the fibers really can be dangerous. And again, it's exposure over time. Asbestos fibers are very, very stable and persistent, and they can remain in your lungs.
I mean, this seems to be like a huge problem, right? So these kids are sitting there. The whole point of a crayon, by its very nature, is that it's supposed to be broken down. Right, you're using this thing, smashing it down on paper, and it's crumbling, pieces are coming off, and we know how kids wipe little pieces away. They're getting close to the paper, and they could potentially be inhaling these little particles.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. So kids are different. They put things in their mouths, they're drawing, they're smelling things, they're looking, they're touching, they're much more tactile. And so again, the contaminants can get aerosolized and breathe it in, and that's what happens when it goes into your lungs.
The average child uses 730 crayons by the age of 10, according to the Environmental Working Group. So bottom line is, check the ones you have in your house right now. And the Environmental Working Group has done this study. They're the only source on this right now, reporting the evidence on these different ones. So just bottom line it for us, Doc?
Yeah, the bottom line is be safe. If you have these, I would get rid of them, remove them from your home. And really, not to scare parents, but we just need to have better regulations, because asbestos at no level should be in children's toys.
Yeah, well said. All right, Doc, thanks so much. We appreciate you joining us.
The EWG Action Fund is calling for a ban on asbestos in consumer products after it found traces of the carcinogen in children's crayons and toy crime lab kits. 4 of 28 boxes of crayons tested positive for asbestos, according to the newly released report from the advocacy group. A private lab hired by the EWG Action Fund, a sister organization of the Environmental Working Group, also detected and confirmed asbestos in 2 of 21 toy crime lab kits it evaluated. Breathing in microscopic asbestos fibers has been linked to serious health problems, including lung disease, lung cancer, and mesothelioma.
A health alert for parents. Supporters say it found traces of asbestos in children's crayons and toy crime lab kits. KFDM morning anchor Melissa Daigle explains how agencies are demanding action.
The Environmental Working Group Action Fund is calling for a ban on the carcinogen in children's products. The newly released report from the advocacy group shows 4 of 28 boxes of crayons tested positive for asbestos. And asbestos was found in 2 of 21 toy crime lab kits evaluated. EWG Action Fund, a sister organization of the Environmental Working Group, hired a private lab to do the testing. Some stores that sold the products say they are investigating the report's findings. Here's the issue at hand, though. Breathing in microscopic asbestos fibers has been linked to health problems like lung disease, lung cancer, and mesothelioma. The Environmental Protection Agency says exposure to asbestos only happens when asbestos-containing material is disturbed and when the particles become airborne. I'm Melissa Daigle reporting. Back to you.